Yo, yo, yo! If you're new here, my name is Jake Paul, and this is my channel. I'm currently 19 years old. I live in Los Angeles with my friends, Team 10. I'm an actor in a couple of movies and on Disney Channel, and I make videos online for you guys. But there's a lot more to the story, and today I'm going to draw it out for you. I'm going all the way back to day one. Oh, actually, my artist friend, Thank You X, is going to draw it out for you because I suck at drawing. Like, I legit can't even draw stick figures. And without further ado, drum roll, please. Thank you. My parents mated roughly in 1996. 9 months later, I was born on January 17th, 1997 in Cleveland, Ohio. My parents named me Jake Joseph Paul, and I was a savage from day one. Rumor has it that I tried punching my doctor in the face when I was born. My parents' names are Greg Paul and Pamela Stepnick. They already had another kid named Logan Paul, so this made us brothers, and he was older by 2 years. Logan was also a savage, and I spent my whole life with him basically side by side. My parents are the reason why I'm at where I'm at today. My mom gave me my nice and caring side, while my dad gave me my manly and hard-working side. My mom was a nurse. Growing up, she would always take care of Logan and I. My dad used to be in the Army and then became a real estate agent and then started his own roofing company. From the time I can remember, my parents instilled in Logan and I a great work ethic and a competitive spirit. Whatever we did, we wanted to be the best at, and we had the work ethic to match that. We grew up in a house with a massive backyard and front yard. And as a family, we would always adventure, go into the woods, ride four-wheelers, and play sports. My brother and I would always train and work out to become better at playing football. When I was about 10 years old, I started playing football in my local school's league. Not trying to brag, but I was the best player in the league. No big deal. Definitely not trying to brag. I would score a touchdown 33% of the time I touched a football. Beast mode! Like any kid, I wanted to go to the NFL, and I had the chops to do so. My dad, Logan, and I would train all the time and push our limits to become better athletes. Logan was also really good at football and made me work harder. We would always see who could run faster, do more push-ups, and so on. Logan, if you're watching this, make sure to subscribe. Always plug. Anyways, right around this time, my dad bought my brother and I a camera so we could record our football games, watch them back, and see how we could improve. My mom would be the filmer, and she was also our biggest fan. And our dad was the head coach of our Pee Wee League team. Football aside, Logan and I took the camera and started filming random stuff we did around our house. Eventually, this turned into us making skits and scripted videos. While all of this was going on, this thing called YouTube started to become popular, along with some people on the platform. We started watching YouTube videos as our form of entertainment after we came home from sports or on the weekends. Our favorite channel was called Smosh. At the time, they were just starting out, about 7 years ago. We loved their videos and wanted to create our own channel. So, being the savages we were, we did. And we called it Zoosh. God damn it, Logan, what were we thinking? It was almost the exact same as Smosh. We kept on playing football and we kept on making videos in our free time. These videos were so bad. Actually, some of them are still online if you look up Zoosh. But at the time, our friends thought they were funny and we thought we were hilarious, so we kept on making them and uploading them, trying to gain a ton of subscribers. In the meantime, my parents had started fighting and eventually got a divorce. This was a bit of a hard time for Logan and I, but at the end of it, it taught us a lot about life, and we figured the 2 Christmases are better than 1. My dad remained single and my mom remarried, which is why her last name is Stepnick. By the time I was in middle school, as you can imagine, I was the class clown, always causing trouble, making jokes, and I couldn't sit still. I didn't like school. I still don't. In 8th grade, our class would go on a trip to Washington, D.C. at the end of the year. It was the highlight of the year. You got to travel with your friends and stay in hotels and visit all the sites. But you couldn't go on the trip if you had 15 behavior strikes. By the middle of the year, I had 14. So I became a good kid for the rest of the year and got to go on the trip. Savage. By this time in my life, I was really into girls and was about to go into high school. Logan and I stopped making videos and focused on football and wrestling. As a freshman, I no longer wanted to go to the NFL. Football just wasn't as fun anymore, and wrestling seemed to interest me more. I made varsity wrestling as a freshman and got to wrestle on the varsity team with my bro. I got destroyed as a freshman by the older kids, but wasn't discouraged. That summer, I got my driver's license and my first car. It was a lifted, all-black Jeep Wrangler. It fit me perfectly. My brother and I started a landscaping business and worked for $10 an hour. We would grind all day, every day, and eventually had a ton of clients. It was hard work, but we were able to pay for our gas and take girls on dates from it. Savage. I came back my sophomore year of wrestling after training every day in the off-season and was one match and 1 point away from making it to states. And in Ohio, that's a huge accomplishment. After wrestling season, I found myself lost. I didn't know what my future looked like. I didn't know what I wanted to do. This went on for a couple months until I found out about the Navy SEALs. It was everything I loved. Hard work, mental toughness, guns, fast vehicles, competition, and doing something with a purpose. Serving America. I decided I was going to train to be a Navy SEAL. For the next couple of months, that's all I could think about and do. Until summer came and Logan said to me, "We should start making videos again." I was so down. And so we began Zoosh again and started posting YouTube videos. We only had 3,000 subscribers at the time, but loved what we were doing. I was 16 at the time. Randomly, 2 weeks later, I was on Twitter and saw this app called Vine had just came out. I downloaded it and immediately started making these 6-second videos. I loved it. I told my bro about it and he loved it too. 2 weeks later, we got into a competition, of course, on who could get more followers. So, here we were in the middle of Ohio spending hours making these 6-second videos. And they were good and started to get some recognition. Eventually, one of the videos that we made went viral. This was the biggest thing that happened in our video career. My bro gained 5,000 followers from it, and I gained about 3,000. From then on, we kept making videos. We were basically local celebrities. Our thousands of followers soon turned into hundreds of thousands and eventually millions. At this point, I was still training to be a Navy SEAL, still wrestling, still landscaping, and about to go back to school for my junior year. Except my brother had to go to college, and I was going to be all alone and had to make the videos by myself, and so did he. We missed each other and often tried to visit each other whenever we could. The followers kept growing, and eventually people from big companies started calling us, asking us to promote products for them or to feature them in our videos. And so we did. Along with that came money. Oh my gosh. I realized that I could make money from making videos. This was amazing. I didn't know what to do except freak out. The companies became more frequent and started to become even bigger deals. Eventually, I didn't have to landscape, and I bought like 4 pairs of LeBron shoes, which at the time was a lot. People started to come up to me in public asking to take pictures. I was making money and having fun. It was like a dream come true. It got to a point where I would go to wrestling tournaments and the competition would ask to take pictures with me or be freaking out. Sometimes, though, they would film me if I lost and post it on Vine talking that smack talk. The videos just made me laugh, though. The bad part about all the fame and money is that attracts haters. People in my school, the kids that I grew up with, started hating on me. They would talk so much smack and tweet me the nastiest things. At first, this really upset me, and it was hard to deal with. My mom would see the haters and call their moms and yell at them. Love you, Mom. Eventually, though, I realized that they were just jealous, and that was their way of expressing it. I realized that they were living in a bubble and didn't have big goals or aspirations. I knew that I could turn my internet fame into something massive. And so that's what I set out to do. I finished my wrestling season and knew I was going to move to Los Angeles. I wanted to take the next step in my career, and Los Angeles was the place to do it. Except I was 17 at the time now, hadn't finished school, and didn't have anything planned for myself in Los Angeles. I had to convince my parents that this was a smart move and to go into online school. I also was going to drop the whole Navy SEAL thing. Eventually, they agreed, and my bro and I made plans and found a spot to live in Los Angeles. I had to save up all the money that I was making from social media to pay for my apartment and food and Wi-Fi and all the things you don't think about when you're a kid. On my last day of school, I said goodbye. Most kids were still talking smack, and a teacher even asked me, "What are you going to do when social media dies?" on my way out. I just smiled and waved. They didn't understand the vision. I got on a flight the next day and hopped off the plane at LAX, like Miley sings about. Love you, Miley. I was officially in Los Angeles with nothing planned. My bro drove there all the way from Cleveland in his new sports car, and I met him at our new place. 17 and in Los Angeles with a lot to prove, I started grinding every day trying to make things happen. I started by going to acting classes, improv classes, and meeting with anyone I could. This whole time I was still growing my social media, but I knew I wanted to do social media, acting, and business. I started to book acting roles, my first one being in a movie called Mono with Fox. Then my next one with YouTube Red called Dance Camp. And then my brother and I sat down to write our own movie called Airplane Mode, which is coming out soon. It's amazing. Around this time, I was having the most fun I'd ever had in my life. Los Angeles was the best place on earth, and every day flew by into the next one. I bought a motorcycle and a Mustang for me to ride around Los Angeles. I learned how to do wheelies on my motorcycle, but eventually got into a crash and sold it because it was too dangerous. I also made some new friends in Los Angeles, which was so cool because everyone here is from the craziest places across the world and they all have awesome stories. Eventually I decided I wanted to help other people grow their social media following and accomplish their dreams. I went through the hard part and made all the mistakes and was off to the races. So I figured I could help others do the same. This is when I created Team 10, the first ever social media label, where we found young social media influencers and helped them go from thousands of followers to millions. It started with Alyssa and I, then Lucas and Marcus, then Niels Visser, and kept growing. And then Alex Lange joined the team, and then AJ Mitchell, and then Tessa Brooks, and then Stan Gerards, and then we created a virtual Team 10 member, Donnie Red. He has an Instagram that you can follow at Little Donnie Red. And then Tristan Tales joined, and now we're growing more and more each month. I mean, if you think you have what it takes to be on Team 10, you can always email us at join@team10official.com. Anyways, eventually, while all of this was happening, I bought an off-road truck, decked it all out, sold my Mustang, moved into a house with everyone on Team 10, wrote a book called You Gotta Want It, which is my saying, and then got called into audition for Disney Channel's new show called Bizaardvark. I walked into the building and went up to the 23rd floor to audition. It was intimidating and nerve-wracking. This was easily the biggest audition I'd had so far. My brother said to me, "Either come back Dirk or come back on your shield." After a couple of auditions and beating out the other actors, I came back Dirk, which made me the first social media influencer to be a series regular on TV. I remember getting the call and just freaking out. I legit almost cried. It was a dream come true. I filmed the first season of the show already, and we start filming season 2 here in a couple months. The other week, I got to do the infamous, "Hi, I'm Jake Paul, and you're watching Disney Channel," with the wand and everything. I vlogged that day and have it recorded, but our hard drives crashed, and I'm still trying to get that footage back. It's about to be 2017, and that's basically my life in a nutshell. Posting every day on YouTube, acting, doing business, making comedy skits for Instagram, and laughing the rest of the time. If you aren't already a Jake Pauler, you better join the family because we are just getting started, and 2017 is going to be the craziest year yet. None of this would be possible without you guys, and for that, I want to say thank you. Thank you so, so much. I would probably be in the mud on a beach training to be a Navy SEAL if it weren't for you guys. You guys allowed me to accomplish my dreams, and for that, I'm grateful. So go on Instagram right now and follow me at Jake Paul for some follow backs. And Jake Paulers, make sure you're subscribed and give the video a big thumbs up because it's every day, bruh. Peace.